communicative, comprehension and cognitive approaches, and the difficulties in applying these approaches and how to deal with them. So I think it will be appropriate if we will introduce ourselves first.
So my name is Saltanat.
My name is Assem.
And I'm Aknur.
And I'm Assiya. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, yes. Have you ever had like learning experience or teaching experience with these methods?
As a teacher or a student?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, of course. Yes, especially the communicative approach is more effective than others. For example, when the child plays role in something, for example, not only language learning and also in the literature, the child can play the role and communicate with other students, know their opinions and exchange their knowledge. It really can help to memorize or recognize something new and also understand new knowledge.
Yeah, but did you learn by this approach in the school?
Yes, of course, especially some English language lessons also, and also in Russian. As I mentioned before, in the literature also it's effective because there are a lot of characters that we can play as a rule, and also give our own opinion about those characters.
Like reviewing.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree, but unfortunately I didn't really experience this method via English classes because our teacher used to teach us via grammar translation method, and everything we have done in the classroom is just writing and reading, and she didn't really like our reading. No, it was quite right because our reading was awful, but I think it was pity that we didn't talk much in the classroom, because even though that I have learned a lot of grammars, a lot of vocabularies, I never spoke with my teacher. Instead of how are you? I'm fine, thank you, and you? And
I was
finally, yes. And finally, when I start to learn this very English with my repetitor, I have to speak with her, and it was so quite exciting. And when I finally go to the school, and it was in 10th or 11th grade, when I say something to her in English language, I was so excited because it was the first time when I was speaking with her in really English language. But it's quite interesting. I feel myself like a genius.
Yes. Like in my experience, I think that I have like experienced all these methods as a learner, and I can say that each of these methods can be effective. But personally, I enjoy, how to say, communicative methods, because in this method you can like perform, you can show your language performance. Yes, and you feel like you're active, you're learning, actually you're doing something. Yes. So what's about you?
I have never experienced this methods before. Okay. So let's move to the main topic of our podcast. What about it?
Yes, which difficulties we have like in applying these methods and how to solve them.
Yes. How, as I mentioned, cognitive and comprehension methods are more theory-based, and it's very difficult applying this into real classroom to make some exercise which will be the real comprehension approach or which will be the real cognitive approach. It's like theory.
Yes.
And it's something natural. You know, this is not the method that you use by by goal, but yes, in target, but you use it explicitly.
Yeah. Okay.
I think.
Also, I think that these methods are like not easy to apply if we use only this method in the classroom, but we can combine it like it with other practical methods, and it will be nice, I think.
For example,
for instance, like grammar translation plus communicative, like you can.
But is it opposite?
Yes, it's opposite, but you can like half of the lesson
Improve.
yes by grammar translation and then discard this text by communicative or role play.
Yeah, maybe. And how?
You know, for the communicative approach, it's not like same with all the children because every child is different by their own. Yeah, because you know, as a child, I remember my classmates. They some of them were really shy about role playing, and they didn't like this approach, and even they, how to say, didn't
Enjoy it.
yeah, didn't enjoy. They were shy, anxiety, maybe, and also yes, anxious. It really affected your nervous system. Yeah, they really stressful. They become really stressful. Yeah.
But you're talking about communicative.
Yes.
It's not really only about role play. It's about just sharing opinions, discussion, and so on and so forth. Maybe people get tired of it because teacher overuse it.
Maybe.
Sometimes we need just sit down and write something or read something.
Introvert.
Yes. But you know, also in introverted people become more competitive. Yes. So, in my opinion, if the teacher uses this approach, not directly, it's
Often.
you know, if the teacher will use this approach, often, if the teacher will use this approach oftenly, it is more effective to students. Vice versa, it became vice versa. If the child shares with his opinion, she or he will consider that my opinion is important in everywhere. But if we do not ask their opinion about the lesson or about or something else, they can consider that my opinion is not important. I'm not so clever. No one wants to listen to me, or something else. So first of all, we should make sure that students can feel free and comfortable in that area.
But on the other hand, like I had an experience of teaching, and like there are a lot of students who don't like sharing his opinion, and like it could be quite frustrating to like how to say, you ask them, okay, please tell me what do you think about that, and they will smile, look at you, and then you look to each other and just say.
Maybe they are shy.
Maybe.
But what about real problem with communicative approach is that it's not that it's hard to apply itself, but it's hard to apply sometimes or most of the time because of teachers and teachers' mentality. Yes, because in my school we didn't really share with our opinion, not in the English classes only, but in the literature, in Kazakh literature, in Russian literature, because every time we talk about the characters, what we think about these characters, they have their truth and their wrongs. And when we didn't say this really first, our opinion was wrong.
Yes.
So we, for example, if we try once, then we receive bad feedback, even negative feedback, and after that we don't want to try again.
I got it. This could be a big problem if,
Yes.
like, if teacher accepts like only one opinion
Mhm.
and then there is no other right answers.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll done with cognitive approach.
Yes.
So
So let's look to sum up, like to conclude our
Yes.
podcast. Like first was communicative approach. Yes, the problem of communicative approach was like mentality, and also not strict lack of strict borders. So
Yes.
what we can do with that?
well, a lot of things. When we talk about that, students are shy to share their opinions. We're not talking about some students from the small village of Shymkent. It's even about me. Sometimes I don't want to share my opinion because I have to explain it, I have to answer the question, I have to face some disagreements, and I don't want to cause such problems. That's why I just decided to not share my opinion and live a peace life. But it's not right in learning process, because by sharing our opinions, by communicating, by speaking, we must improve. So I think, first of all, as a teacher, what you can do to solve this problem is not give negative feedbacks, negative reinforcement. We all know that there is no white and black, and everything is grey. And if your students are wrong in, for example, in rules, in facts, you should just calmly correct them. But if there is opinions, if there is no truth, no wrong sides, you should just accept their point of view. And from the student side, of course, you must be active, you mustn't be shy, you may think critically, widely,
And critical.
yes, and critically is the most important things. And I think we must take under question everything we believe in our lives.
Okay. And the next was comprehension approach. Yes, the problem of comprehension approach is that students are not active, and like you don't have a feedback from them. You don't know what they received, what they learned. So what we can do with that?
In comprehension approach, we should make quizzes, receive feedback from students to testify what they learned, and also we should combine this method with others.
Yes.
So last one was
Comprehension. It was comprehension.
yes, it was comprehension.
Okay.
So last was like cognitive approach. The problem of cognitive approach is like theoretical based approach, not practical. Also, not all students are, how to say, could be encouraged by this method. What we can do with that?
So we gave examples about Aknur's classmate that he cannot pronounce appropriately or correctly the words.
Every word.
Every word. So in this approach, the teacher can give positive feedback for this student and positive encouragement for reinforcement.
Yeah. Like how it looks like oh my god.
So yeah.
That's true.
No, it's like positive feedback means oh, you are trying to make it better, but you can make it better. Teacher should motivate the student. You can, you deserve more. You can more, or something else. Without the motivation, the knowledge is like not interesting, or it looks like not comprehensible.
Comprehensive.
Yes. Yeah. So.
So I think the problem of all our approach is for that not accurately. I think the problem, the main problem of these very approaches is not active students. Like if they are active, if they are trying,
Yes, there is no problem.
yes and no. At the same time, like I still believe that your classmate is trying to pronounce it right, but
He's not sure about that.
Oh, since I just mentioned that I had also that kind of classmate. It was like I remember that it was the first time when we were acquiring English at the 5th grade. Yes, when the teacher said, "My name is," that boy said that my name is. Unforgettable situation.
Well, it's it was first lesson. It's normal for the first lesson. I remember we also started learning English in 5th grade, and I remember when my teacher came to the classroom and said, "How are you?" I was she said, "How are you?" The master of English. Yeah. Okay.
I think
I have another question for you. Which approach do you like the most?
communicative is the best one.
Yes.
But comprehension is also needed. Yes.
But it's not, especially at the first time, I think.
Yes. But it's not interesting.
Yes, it's quite boring.
Yes.
For
To learn.
yes, communicative approach is how to say is close to my soul. Because I really love the debate. It's how to teach us to think critically, and critical thinking is important in the communicative approach.
Yes.
We're just TFL students. It's obvious that we will love this. Okay, so what approach do you like the most? Yes, which is your favorite?
I prefer comprehension approach because I'm quite introvert person, and I'm not into the speaking and the showing my opinion.
Like you like more reading.
Yes, reading and listening.
Okay.
So.
What I want to add to that is comprehension approach and cognitive approach also is not boring in applying in the classroom, but boring to learn this approach itself. Like there is no much information, there is no interesting facts, there is no techniques to use it. So that's why it's just like it's about remembering. Like, what's the point of this?
Yes.
You should, yeah.
Also, it was quite difficult to find like demo lessons.
Yes.
Something
But
like
I I think that we you obviously use these approaches in the classroom, but we just
unconscious.
we just don't understand unconscious.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that we've done. It's like really done this time.
Yes.
So it was nice to chat with you. Yes.
Very interesting to discuss something.
Yes.
It was also, I would say,
Useful.
experiment. Yes. To how to say, experience our speaking.
Yes. It was quite interesting to listen about your classmates or your you have quite interesting life in this class. And well, I loved our podcast. I hope our watchers,
watchers, viewers.
will like it too.
I hope so.
I hope they understand something from our speech because we did a lot of grammatical mistakes.
Okay.
That's all.
So goodbye.
Thank you for attention.
Thank you.